The dim lights of the Argosian black market flickered with a sickly green hue, casting shadows over piles of scrap metal, rusted tools, and bruised fruit that smelled of fermentation and decay. Merchants shouted in grating dialects, bartering over junk and flesh. No item was too useless, no being too broken. Inside a makeshift cage fashioned from the remnants of old cargo crates, a girl with silver-blue skin huddled in the corner, her back pressed against the cold metal. Her name was Rilari, though none here cared to ask. Her eyes, once luminous, now dulled beneath bruises and grime. Around her ankle clinked a restraining cuff, its blinking red light a cruel reminder of her enslavement. Rilari had been taken from her village after the harvest failed. Her people, once proud weavers of song crystals, were now scattered, enslaved, or dead. She was bartered for passage off-world, traded by a corrupt handler to a merchant named Slorgo in exchange for 2 sacks of bruised plorka fruit and a broken plasma coil. She remembered the transaction well. The way Slorgo laughed as he tossed the fruit at the trader's feet and yanked her collar like a beast. "She ain't worth more than that," he'd spat. "Too skinny to work and too weird looking to sell as a pleasure pet." He'd meant it as a joke. Rilari never laughed. Chapter 2. The Human. Jack Renner wasn't supposed to be there. A supply run had gone wrong. His ship's stabilizers blew out mid-jump, leaving him limping toward the nearest scum port on Egrin 9. He walked the market with a scavenger's eye, looking for replacement parts among the detritus. But it wasn't rusted parts that caught his attention. It was a sound, not a cry. Broken. Like someone trying to remember the melody of a dream long forgotten. He followed it. The girl sat cross-legged in the cage, whisper singing under her breath. It wasn't in standard, but in her own tongue, lilting and rhythmic. Her fingers moved like weaving threads in the air, shaping notes invisible to the untrained. Jack stopped. Her skin shimmered faintly under the flickering lights, like moonlight on water. "She's not for you," growled a voice. Slorgo stepped out from the shadows, rotund and stinking of fermented fruit. "She's defective stock. Makes noises. Bad for morale." Jack glanced at the girl again. "How much?" Slorgo blinked. "You serious? For her? I wouldn't ask if I wasn't." Slorgo scratched at a boil on his neck, then grinned. 200 credits. Or 3 crates of rot fruit, since she likes it so much. Jack didn't haggle. He paid in full. Chapter 3. Worth. The cage opened with a hiss. Rilari flinched as the light touched her skin. For a moment she thought it was another cruel game. Another buyer with leering eyes and calloused hands. But Jack simply crouched, holding out a blanket. She didn't take it. "You're free now," he said. She didn't believe him. He gently draped the blanket over her shoulders and spoke softly. "I don't need anything from you. But I think you deserve better than this place." "Why?" she rasped. He hesitated. "Because you were singing." She blinked. "That song," he said. "It was beautiful." Tears filled her eyes. No one had ever called her voice beautiful. Chapter 4. Healing. Jack's ship was patched together with salvaged tech and old dreams. The Iron Whim wasn't elegant, but it was home. Rilari was given a cabin. Small, warm, private. She touched everything carefully like it might vanish. He left her be, only bringing food, clean clothes, and books he thought she might like. She didn't speak for 2 days. On the 3rd she asked, "Do you believe in broken things?" He looked up from a panel he was fixing. "I believe broken things can be fixed." She nodded, more to herself than to him. Rilari began to explore. She'd sit in the engine room and hum. The sound soothed the AI core oddly enough, Jack swore the system ran smoother when she sang. She asked about the stars, about Earth, about music. In return, she told him about her people, her home, the song crystals that vibrated with emotions. Jack listened, always listened, and slowly she changed. Her back straightened. Her voice grew louder. She smiled one day, and Jack nearly dropped his tools in awe. Chapter 5: Trouble. But the black market doesn't forget its inventory. 3 weeks after Jack left Egrin 9, a bounty pinged across the fringe networks. Stolen property. Female specimen, Ilari origin. Reward for return. 20,000 credits. Slorgo had ratted her out. The bounty hunters came fast. 3 ships, armed and ready. Jack barely got the iron whim into cloak before they arrived. "I should leave," Rilari whispered, trembling. "I'm a burden to you." "You're not. They'll kill you." "Let them try." "But I'm not worth it," she cried. He reached forward and cupped her face gently. "They sold you for rotten fruit, Rilari. That says nothing about you. That says everything about them." She stared at him. "No one gets to decide your worth but you," he said. Then she sang. A long, haunting note that rose through the ship, echoed in the AI core, and burst from the ship's modified frequency antenna like a pulse wave. The bounty ships buckled mid-flight. Navigation systems scrambled by the sonic interference. Rilari fell to her knees, gasping. Jack caught her before she hit the floor. "You saved us," he said. "No," she whispered. "We saved each other." Chapter 6: Rebirth. The bounty was eventually voided. Too much heat, too much embarrassment for the slavers. Jack and Rilari jumped systems every week, never staying long. But they weren't running anymore. They were exploring. Jack taught her how to pilot. She taught him to weave sound crystals. Together, they traded song shards on fringe worlds for fuel and food. She performed for colonies where music hadn't been heard in decades. Children would gather at her feet, eyes wide, hands open. Jack watched her glow. She was no longer the trembling girl in a cage. One night, while charting a nebula belt, she asked softly, "Why me? Why did you stop?" He smiled. "Because when the world saw something broken, I saw someone beautiful." Her hand slipped into his, and neither pulled away. Chapter 7: The Garden. Years passed. They built a sanctuary on the moon of Varenthos, a home for those taken, traded, discarded. Jack handled supplies and logistics. Rilari taught music and healing through vibration. Survivors came with scars and silence. They left with songs. No one ever asked what someone was worth. They were simply welcomed. Rilari stood beneath the sun tree, its crystalline branches humming softly with the music of thousands of voices recorded in harmony. She placed a new crystal among the others and smiled. Jack approached from behind, arms wrapped around her waist. "You did it," he said. "We did it," she replied. She turned to him, eyes shining. "I was once sold for fruit, Jack." He touched her cheek. "And I got the deal of a lifetime." They kissed beneath the song tree, and the air shimmered with light and melody. Final chapter: Her true worth. When visitors came, they often asked about the silver-blue woman who sang to the stars. Some whispered rumors that she was once a slave or a weapon or a ghost. But none of that mattered, because in the end, they saw only what Jack had seen all along. Someone radiant, someone powerful, someone who could not be priced, bartered, or owned.